Hello and welcome to part 16 of our playthrough of Songs of Syx in the great city of Foremenlore. Really starting to come together now as we get the grand road up towards the mining area. So in the last episode we had a little bit of a visitor from the Collector. Not only that, but we managed to get our population up quite a bit. So hopefully we can keep that going. Let's keep on going. Hopefully nobody else gets murdered. That would always be nice. Usually a good way to start the day. As it stands, our raw resources aren't looking too great, so I think what we'll do is we'll say to everybody, hey, cut down these trees if you aren't already. Potentially over here by the farming area, I mean, we're probably going to be converting a lot of this into more farming areas, so let's just chop down these trees. Might as well, we need to get some extra bit of wood where we can. The stone's okay, if slightly low, but we'll see how we do. We actually have a very good amount of vegetables. There must have just been a harvest that's taking place. In fact, we've even got more grain that's sitting here, which I'm not too pleased about. That is not in range of this warehouse, so let's upgrade the radius ever so slightly on this warehouse just so it can actually grab everything. That might be slightly too much, but hey ho, that means at least it's covering those guys maybe just ever so slightly more, just so we're covering this pasture here, and that should increase the amount of goods that we're bringing in to that warehouse, including some eggs. So we'll finally be including eggs in people's diets, and that should hopefully make them a little bit happier. Looking over at our small mining area, we've got a couple of houses that have been set up. Some are still vacant, but the other ones are being used by the coal miners. We've got our longhouses there, we've got a janitor, we've got a warehouse. We do need to think about somewhere for them to go to the toilet. Otherwise, they will not be too happy about that. So let's build ourselves a lavatory. We'll just build that. Do we want to build that there? Yeah, I think that should be fine there. We'll just build a little 1 5x5. We'll just add in a couple of latrines up the side. And we'll get ourselves a little basin as well. That should be more than enough. Yeah, perfect. Just a little small one, just for our immediate needs. For these people immediate needs. Ah, another killing. Another murdered human has been found, the body of its heart removed. This time, poor Tyriank Eccleston was the victim. The humans are scared and angry, demanding you do something quick, and Killer left a message. You thought you could escape me, you were wrong. Your organs will join the others in my collections, whether you like it or not. The Collector. Very scary. Okay, not great. We're getting more people getting murdered. Which, it's not ideal, I'll put it that way. If we can prevent people from being murdered, that's probably a nicer thing than watching more people get murdered. Over here in our woodcutter, we're doing pretty alright. We've got these longhouses available and vacant, so people can move in should they wish to. How's this lavatory doing? It's still got a pretty high load, but we're doing alright. We've got some guardhouses that are placed about the place as well. And we've got our warehouse here, which currently doesn't have anything being collected in it. Let's bump up this radius a little bit, and we'll get it to store some more meat. As well as the eggs, probably some hides, and definitely the animals as well. We just kind of need something to store up our pastures. So yeah, we'll get hides there as well. Maybe we'll store a little bit of grain too, just see if it picks them up. Hopefully, I mean, we've still got the grain over here. Guys, you really want to be collecting that if you don't mind. Another killing. Another murdered human has been found, the body with its heart removed. Distine Moore was a victim. The humans are scared, demanding you do something quick. I warned you, didn't listen. Now your organs are mine to do as I please. Consider this a lesson to all those who dare cross the Collector. This guy is being very, very annoying. But so long as we manage to keep people fed, they should be happy. The humans are not very happy, and I can't imagine why. I imagine it's something to do with them getting ritualistically murdered. I bet it was one of the slaves. We'll just have to see. We have lost a few people because of these murders, which aren't great. Hopefully that doesn't mean that our graveyards are full. No, we still got some available graveyards, which is good. And we still got our lavatory working as well. Yeah, we could maybe do some more people, but it does seem that our immigration will be slowing down because people will be less happy about the fact that they're just getting murdered in broad daylight. But we'll see what we can do. Still needing more animals as well for our pastures, so they're not quite producing as much meat as potentially we would like. Another person has said, well, another set of organs. You should have just minded your own business and stayed away. Can you stop murdering people, please? Now, I believe the way that you get around this is having good guard coverage. We do have decent guard coverage of the majority of our places, but it's mostly just a kind of random chance. Eventually it will die down, so we've just got to kind of weather the storm and weather the unhappiness. Fortunately, we do have some ways around it. They want more exposure to lighting, which we could start giving. We do have the iron for it. Actually, our wood stockpiles are going up, which is good. That'll be all the farmers collecting this wood over here. Yeah, it does seem like we've got a lot of our crops just kind of lying out, which isn't great. I would prefer it if it's because we don't have enough delivery people. Yeah, so they're trying to collect everything from the fields. It's just taking a long time because we don't have enough workers available. We don't have the odd jobbers either, which is a little bit unfortunate, but hey ho, what are we going to do? We don't have mushrooms or eggs, and there's a large load on the available services here, but we should keep people mostly happy inside this bit here. Fortunately, our coal stockpiles are going up as well. That's going to be helped quite a lot by these coal mines, which is great. It means that we can actually get some pretty good stuff going on there. A high amount of people working in the coal mines, we could always drop it a little bit, but we just want to kind of keep our resource surplus going. Let's have a little look at our militia. How are we doing over here? Let's edit them up a little bit. We could start giving them out more warhammers in order to make them a little bit better. I mean, they already got pretty good. They're already training pretty well. Nobody's training here just now. Oh no, we got one recruit who's training up. At least with this militia, we should hopefully be able to fight back against some ne'er-do-wells if they come demanding goods yet again. Now, over here on this side, I do actually want to set up some additional houses over here if we can. Now, this is mostly just for our fishing population. They're going to be kind of sitting over here, and it will also help us expand out a little bit more. So I think a couple of houses here, people will start to move in. It should be fine. We've already got a janitor. We just need a well, so we'll build another well over here too, just so people can, you know, bathe and such. Good stuff. So yeah, we'll get a well. We'll just get another hearth as well over here, just because people will need it. And we'll build up so it's the same size. We'll need some stalls too here as well. So let's get ourselves a food stall and a market stall. We can just put them in the middle here. And again, we can probably put some flowers in the middle just to beautify it up a little bit. So yeah, there we go. There's our stall. And then we'll just need ourselves a market as well. Good stuff. We'll need some furniture, which we're not producing too much of, which is a little bit of a shame. I wonder if that's because of our wood throughput. It's being stored in warehouses that are not close by, but we can possibly deal with that later on as well. But yes, this should hopefully do us for just now. We will probably need a lavatory there as well. Speaking of lavatories, has our lavatory over here been finished? Not quite, still just waiting for a little bit of furniture to come. Workers strike. They've halted all work in our laboratories because they are very, very, very unhappy because they have been murdered. A little bit of a silly thing to be unhappy about, but never mind. I'm sure we can manage it later on. How is our dungeon doing? Our dungeon is pretty full, which isn't ideal. They do also want to plead their innocence in court. I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon, unfortunately. But it's something that they want. We will need to think about building up another dungeon. Potentially we build it up over here. It's reasonably-ish close by to like our mines, so it would make sense that people would be unhappy about the mines. Other than that, we're still just working away. Our population slowly but surely will start to climb back up. There's been a little bit of time between murders, so I'm hoping the collector has just gone. That would be nice. Would definitely be preferable. Let us copy this lavatory, and we'll actually just build one over here just so it's done. Yeah, we can kind of put that along here. Maybe kind of put it in line with the janitor. There we go. We can build some more houses there as well if needed. Otherwise, yeah, people will build these when they get the second, which will take a little bit of time. We don't really have the odd jobbers at the moment, just because of the amount of people that are needed. We could put down a little bit of a building over here to help us out. So our workstation, our laboratories have returned to work. That's good. Let's build, let's block my terrain. Yeah, we'll build a workstation over here, and we'll maybe just add in a couple of workers. They should be able to clear out the space for that fishery that we're still waiting to get done, especially if we increase the radius, so we just bump it up. That should give them enough workspace that they go into there. And it also means they'll start clearing out the areas over here for the lavatories and such. We should also, as well, while we're here, tell them, hey, if you've got a second, just clear out this rock for us, please. Having a little bit of extra stone will certainly not hurt. Now, looking at our food stocks are dwindling ever so slightly, which is a little bit worrying. Potentially it's time to think about our bakery. We could certainly think about upgrading it if we research it. We don't quite have enough metal for it just now, but I don't think it's a bad idea to get the research for upgrading our bakery. Yeah, it's only 250 knowledge. We could also get some more bakery specialization just so we get some more throughput for it. I don't think that's a bad idea because bread is obviously a very good thing to have. We have quite a bit of grain stored up as well, and we just really want to keep it going on. As far as our pasture goes, we're kind of hoping that we have more livestock over here. We've only got 44 out of the animals we need there. Again, Low number of animals overall, which is a little bit of a shame, but it'll slowly but surely grow up as we keep going. Even over here in the Endolons and the Aurochs, we don't have that many animals. Yeah, we could potentially do with importing more animals, but we're just kind of running out of money in order to do so. And we're having to import more and more goods, especially our fruit and our vegetables. Our fruit is getting very, very low, and I think that's because our fruit orchard, some of the trees had to be cut down, unfortunately. And we do also have a fair bit of fruit just lying in the fields, so potentially we could go over here and we think about sorting out the warehouses to have a higher priority, because we want to make sure that we have all the people that we need to actually collect all of our goods. That'll probably help our throughput and our the efficiency of our workshops a little bit more as well. But yeah, overall things not too bad. I'm sure once we collect all of these goods, things will be working a little bit better. Apparently they're only needing 3 delivery men here, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, they're not really working too hard, I suppose. What about over here? Let's just do it automatically. There we go. So somebody can collect stuff now. Trail goes cold. How long has it been without any new murders? Has he stopped, taken a break, moved from the city? Who knows? Will he return? Let's hope not. Undoubtedly these events will never be forgotten, but your human subjects are slowly getting over the tragedy. Good. There you go. They forget about it in time, so that's good. Sad we didn't catch them. We could have done with a little bit of extra happiness, but the main thing is that he stopped killing people, which is always a good thing in my mind. Alright, over here, let's actually upgrade this lavatory so we get some additional happiness out of that. We've got an upgraded hearth, partially upgraded well. Could start really think about starting to build up some more machinery stuff, but we'll get around to that at some point, I'm sure. We haven't built anything over here that needs to be upgraded. This janitor here has insufficient workers, but I think that's just because we're low on workers in general. Some of our older people seem to be dying off, which is a slight shame. Also, we're getting increased numbers of people that are working away. How are we doing over here in the bakery? Not bad. We still don't have enough metal. We're sticking fairly solidly on around about 65. And that's with the increased number of coal that we're getting. So potentially, I mean, our tools are pretty low. They seem to be getting used up as soon as they're made, which is probably where we want them to be honest. I can't really complain about that. Ah, there we go. We're starting to collect up all this grain. Hopefully, now that these warehouses are actually taking all the workers that they need, we should be grabbing more and more stuff. So yeah, just the slow increase in progress that we love to see. We'll actually tell our guys just to hunt these animals here. There we go. Kill them, grab the meat. That should help our food stockpiles just a little bit, keep people a little bit happier as well, because they'll like to eat some meat. And we're just waiting for our metal to get high enough that we can actually use it. But overall, things are going okay. We've got lots of wood now, thanks to our complete deforestation efforts. So that should keep us going for a little while. Our stone is a little bit more lacking, but I'm sure we'll be fine. We're going to be collecting some as well. Ah, that's a good point. We should probably get a speaker over in our newer area, so let's do that. Let's get ourselves a little speaker here, just on the edge of this kind of small housing block with a fairly large lavatory, it must be said. But that should hopefully keep our fishermen a little bit happier. Even potentially think about bringing some amoebias if we wanted to get extra people in, but as is just now, we haven't really got the sort of space to start building up segregated areas just yet, so I think we'll hold off for just now. Can we upgrade this any further? No, we don't have the Slitharithian or the jewellery for that, so we will not. But no, overall people are fairly happy-ish. You can actually see the happiness of our humans has gone up quite a bit. They're very loyal as well, which is good. Just need to increase that happiness a little bit, keep the immigrants coming in, just so we can kind of waylay this sort of deaths that we're getting into. Speaking of death, we are completely out of vegetables, which says to me, even with our imports, we need more vegetable farms. So let's do that. Let's actually think about how we want to place these. So I think probably something like this will be fine. We'll need to build some more water pumps as well, unfortunately. So yeah, let's just build another 2 vegetable farms, and we'll maybe think about building up another water pump over here. I think that's probably a good idea. If we build like 1 or 2 water pumps, I think that should be fine. It's going to increase the number of employees we need again, which is a slight shame, but needs must, I'm afraid. So let's make sure that we get our canals up. We can connect them up over here. Once we have these built, then we'll run them along here and around along here, and that should very much increase the fertility of these vegetable farms. We could also start running it down, connect both of our streams up, we can see that we do need a little bit more water pressure going through, and we'll also upgrade these guys with our metal when we get a second. We'll take some stone, we'll take some people, but those are things we hopefully have in abundance. We've managed to get another import of our goods in, just a little bit for our vegetable farms and our fruit farms, which is good. Also, we seem to be having a harvest, which is also very, very nice. And fingers crossed we can get more of these trees up before we have another infestation which destroys them. But these guys, once they get working, when they get working, they will produce us an awful lot of fruit. In fact, we can see here that the yearly production is about 421 in comparison to our fruit farm, which is around about, it says 18, but it's more than that. At least I hope it's more than that. That'd be pretty awful if it wasn't. Ah, there we go. Should be ready to harvest very, very shortly. Get some more of those trees up, and that will be good to go. Other than that, the city seems to be progressing all right, slowly but surely getting some more people in, just to offset those that are dying. Do we need all these people in the coal? Given the coal's going up and the iron's going down, I don't think we quite need this many, so we'll do that to sort of alleviate our need for workers, and that should help us out just a little bit. Over here are guys who are working, should be, yeah, they're just clearing rocks at the moment, but that's fine. We could add some more odd jobbers onto here, but probably not needed just now, especially when we've got a deficit of workers as we currently have. We've got a good deal of research coming in, which is nice. How close are we to something like a library? Nowhere close. So we could spend the additional research to get machinery. We could start producing machinery as one of our selling things, and also to start upgrading things a little bit more. It's needed for our level 2 wells. It is just very costly, and we do want to use our metals where we can otherwise, especially if it comes to upgrading this bakery, just so we can get through more of this grain. We could also potentially build another bakery, which isn't the worst idea I've ever had. In fact, we could just copy it down and put it over here, kind of near, even potentially over here. It'll be a little bit further away, but you know what? Let's just copy it wholesale, and we'll just build another bakery. Where would be a good place to put it? Ah, an accident has occurred. That's not great. Yeah, let's just build another bakery over here, just a little bit closer to where the grain farms are, just to increase our throughput of bread a little bit more. Also, having more bread being constructed nearby will help people's mood a little bit, because they'll have more access to it. Build a couple of roads there as well. You can just let people get to work on that, and they'll build that in due time. Otherwise, still just building out the vegetable farm, still just building out these water pumps. Grain farm. How is this warehouse doing in terms of needed? Yes, so we can see here that's now up to 7 just because of how much stuff it has needed to collect. We're using up all of our crates and it's fully upgraded. Do we want to bump anything down? We could actually bump down stone. We don't need to store stone here very much. That was more just to be used. Let's actually increase our storage of grain just so we can hold more, because that seems to be pretty full up. And then over here in this warehouse here, we're getting some grain at least, which is good. We could also think about starting to set up some haulers. Which, I mean, we do... Ah, okay, we actually do have the workers for now. So we can... Basically, what haulers do, they haul it to the location over here. So they need to be placed on free ground, so we can build up a nice hauling bit here. So we'll build this up, people will start to work here, and we can actually set this to haul us grain. So it'll start collecting grain from our various warehouses, haul it here for our bakery to then start using, which will cut down on the amount of time that the bakers have to like run over to the warehouse, because it'll be just pretty much right outside. So yeah, you want to store this here now. Let's say that you want to actually pull it from this warehouse here, like so. Good stuff. So we want to make sure that it's not set to storing. And there we go. So we can see here that we're collecting grain up here, and then it's being grabbed from our bakery to be used in there. And that should also make sure that we are making much more bread than we currently are. Now, we could go around all of our workplaces and start doing that as well, but it does cost us a fair bit in terms of haulers. You can see here, this one here has a hauling need of 3 workers. So it does mean that you're using some people rather than odd jobbers to supplement your industry, but it should make our bakery just a little bit more efficient, so they're not having to run around quite as much. And that will definitely help as well if we can just bump across that metal. There we go, perfect, there we are. So this bakery now upgraded. It costs quite a bit of metal, but we should start to see hopefully our bread stockpiles rising quite a bit. Well, we could also do this for coal, which I don't think is a bad idea either. So let's build another hauler. We'll just build this over here. And then maybe even just build up a couple of roads just to make this look nicer. People are going to be walking around here. So yeah, we can just build up a nice little kind of road here. And we'll set this one to grab coal, and that will mean that people don't have to run very far from the bakery to grab coal either. Yep, there we go. So you want to grab coal, please. There you go. Insufficient workers available. We'll actually set the haulers to be a higher priority as well, so we actually do get the people there that we need to work. And they should now start to... There's nothing to fetch in the vicinity, that's fine. So we'll set you up to grab from this warehouse over here, because there'll be coal over there. Because that's where we're mining it. And there we go, we can start to see that we're now starting to haul coal over here for our bakery to use, and that should cut down on the amount of people that are having to run about and grab stuff, and just kind of improve our production chains just ever so slightly. It's the other reason why for a lot of my buildings I like to have these sort of central courtyard areas, just so you can quite easily set up haulers to come into it. Maybe not quite so much needed for this weaver because it's right next to the warehouse, but still, I think it looks nice. How are we doing over here? That other bakery is getting made. So we should start to get through our fairly sizable grain stockpile sooner rather than later. And otherwise we're just getting people working away. Never a bad thing. How's our research doing? 4.7k research. Now, do we want to invest anything more? I really want to try and get libraries when I can, just to cut down the amount of knowledge or research time we're wasting on getting... or rather, retaining the knowledge that we've already got. But we're probably going to have to build another laboratory in order to get that far, given that everything's... all of our laboratories are upgraded to level 1. We haven't got the research yet for level 2 upgrading. And we also need to build machine parts for that, which we don't currently have. Let's actually say for this warehouse here, we aren't using all of the crates, so we'll say to... Ah, good, here. We've already got one assigned to machinery. That's nice. Very, very good. How are we doing over here? Yeah, we're getting our metal smelters going. Still making the metal. It's not as big of a stockpile as before, but we do have a very large stockpile of tools, which is nice. That will mean that we can actually add more tool things in, though I think we've got most of our industries already using tools, unless there's something that's not very important, like our paper makers and that. Do we have tools set up for our hunters? Indeed we do. Fantastic, so they should be bringing in plenty of meat. And otherwise we're using up all the tools that we have available anyway. Ah, finally, this bakery is done. Fantastic, so we should really start. I'm not sure we really need to get any kind of haulers here. The warehouse is fairly close by and it has a ton of grain. The main problem they'll actually have, more than likely, will be the coal, getting that, but they don't need that much coal for producing of bread. And just like that, you can see our food stockpile for bread starting to shoot up, which is exactly what we want. Hopefully if people are eating more of our bread than they are, say, of our fruit or our vegetables, that means there'll be more of it left for the kids. Because the last thing we want is more kids starving, obviously. Another accident has occurred. Unfortunately, there were no deaths. So that's always nice. They'll go to the hospital. As it stands, there we haven't got any opium, so we'll need to start importing some opium. Where is a good place for importing opium? Let's actually set this so that we're no longer importing this. Let's just get a little bit of opium. There we go. Perfect. We're going to need some more money, unfortunately, for that, but once we have that set, we can import just a little bit of opium, and that should keep our hospital running. And that should be good. Yeah, I need to build another dungeon, don't I? Yeah, we need a lot of workers as well, because we're massively expanding out. We're building out these farms here. So they'll need more people. We haven't quite finished this fishery just yet, but we're still building up this area over here. Let's upgrade this well. Ah, no, we don't have the clay for that. Fingers crossed we will soon. We'll get the hearth upgraded at least, so that's nice and fancy for people. And we're still just clearing out this rock, so I guess that makes sense why that hasn't been built yet. Ah, finally, for the first time in I think a couple of episodes, we actually have a stockpile of bread. Which is good, because, I mean, it's fine to have not great stockpiles of these, because it just means that your stalls are taking them as quick as they come in. And as long as you have enough food in reserve, people will be happy with it. But obviously, the more food that you have stockpiled here, the more days of food that you have overall, the happier people will be. Plus, that means that we do have a good surplus of bread, so we know that we're going to be having lots of bread to be taken by our people. Speaking of stalls, let's have a little look at the services. So yeah, the loads aren't too bad over here, which is good. We've got this hearth upgraded already. We've got a nice little bench there. In terms of our coverage, seems like we've got good market coverage pretty much everywhere, other than obviously down here. Maybe a little bit lacking over here, because, I mean, I'm surprised that this market isn't covering more of this area, but I guess it just means people trying to walk up through here because they're having to walk all the way around. Those smithies, that'll be fine when we actually get rid of these pastures. We could slaughter these guys for meat before we do that, and maybe we do want to do that because, I mean, they're not making us that much, really. I mean, this Andalin pasture is doing much better, and this still requires 8 workers. So if we slaughtered everybody, yeah, let's just do that. Slaughter them. Perfect, and we'll just delete this room. Over here, we'll do the same. We'll slaughter everything, grab the meat, and then delete it. Fantastic. There we go. It's a good bit of leather, good bit of meat as well. We should be able to collect that up, and you can see our meat stockpiles absolutely soaring rather. And that should get people a lot happier as well, because people do quite enjoy eating meat. And that'll also help our workforce requirements out a little bit and help get these pastures actually properly full sooner rather than later. Now, looking over our coal reserves, our coal is getting a little bit lower, so we may actually bump up our number of coal miners again. Maybe 30 is the kind of sweet spot. We'll just have to see. And then other than that, we're still just making away things in our bakeries. We are getting a stockpile of bread. We've got a stockpile of meat from slaughtering those animals that we'll obviously lose out on the passive income of it, which is a little bit of a shame. But we can potentially transform this into a little bit more of a housing district because we're slowly but surely, you know, expanding out. I would really like to kind of delete these farms as well, so that we can sort of move it over to our larger farming area, maybe even build some kind of like bridge along here, or at least a road over here from our fisheries. I do also really want this fishery constructed here. This is a very nice fishery that we can upgrade as well. But once we have this kind of area set up, we'll be able to do that far easier. Still not enough clay to upgrade that, which is a little bit of a shame. Never mind. We are at fruit, which is a little bit worrying. How far are we away from our harvest? We're pretty much there. Okay, so we're pretty much there. Our trees will produce in about 3 days. Our fruit farms will produce in a little bit. But our food reserves are actually ultimately going up, which is nice. Especially now that we have the 2 bakeries going away. Good. You can see here that we have a very nice stockpile of grain and coal. Coal's not going to be used just for this bakery. They're going to be used for other things as well. Whoever really needs it, like our brewery, for example, will be able to run over here, grab the grain, grab the coal, and run away. There is something to be said about kind of keeping industries that use the same goods together to make your haulers and eventually your transporters more efficient. I think at the moment we're okay for just now. Okay, our fruit's going up, nice. We're getting some more vegetables as well. Potentially we want to grab some more fruit farms too. But it's starting to go up a little bit just because we were starting to get our harvests together. This warehouse is now very busy. 14 people for such a small warehouse, but there is a lot of things to gather come the harvest time. What about over here? It's just the one. You can just pick up some meat, pick up some animals, pick up a little bit of grain as well. Main thing is that we're getting a bunch of people working away, producing that bread, and the more bread we have, the happier folks will be. Let us, yeah, so we are getting bread over here. Let's actually just upgrade this. We have the ability to do so, and that should mean that we should store a lot more coal here if we require it. But yeah, things overall going pretty well. Nearly 900 people in total population, which is good. We have more than enough houses. Our amount of food is going up. We still haven't imported any opium just because we don't have the money for it, unfortunately. But we can certainly do that in the future. Our grain stockpiles are looking fantastic, even with us transforming it into bread faster than we have in a good long while. And we are at least seeing that the people are currently ill. That's a bit of a shame. But we're seeing that our fields are actually being not only harvested, but actually being transported over to the warehouse as well, which is kind of what we want. How are we doing over here? Yep, so we're producing over here. This should produce a whole boatload of fruit, which is good. That'll keep our human children alive. And we can actually see here, wow, very, very happy humans. Everybody's very, very happy, which is nice. Most people are still immigrants, but we do actually have a fairly considerable native population. I mean, 25% certainly isn't that bad. Or maybe slightly higher than 25%, more like 27. You can't complain about that, certainly. And yeah, other than that, oh, we actually finally have our cut stone up very high, so we could start to transform our city center just ever so slightly. So if we go into structures, if we say that we actually want this all to be not mud, but a grand building, you can see here that humans really, really like that. So if we click convert, we can just convert our sort of central area over here. People will kind of work away. And that's fine. And especially if we also do it for... Oh, they'd like to give us some coal. Our lovely neighbour of the nation of Kennis would love to give us some coal, a little bit of money. Yeah, we're going to accept that. Coal is coal, baby. And we'll build up here as well. The idea is if we upgrade all of our not warehouses, but our laboratories where our humans will predominantly work, then that will make them happier. The happier they are, the more immigrants we can get in, more people we can get in, more workers we can get in. We're actually full of grain. A little bit on the worrying side, but also good in a way, seeing as it appears our main food source now is our bread. We're getting through our meat fairly well as well. But yeah, now that we're kind of working away, people are going through. We still need more cut stone. We have managed to completely wipe out our stockpile of cut stone. That's quite impressive. But we can see here, oh, look at those grand ceilings, that grand wall, and our lovely dirt throne room. Ah, beautiful. Just what you want. I wonder if actually we can set that down to be a floor. I don't think I've ever actually done this for our throne room. Not really, no. Oh well. Guess we'll just have mud on our throne. That's fine. How far away are we from the next rank? So we need 1.2k population in order to get the next rank. That will give us more of our nobility slots that we can use. We could unlock ourselves an embassy as well, so we can start to send delegates around. We do have the paper for that. Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea, to be fair. We can probably do that. So that is in administration. We can set up a small embassy here. Well, it does require cut stone and such, but we can send them on foreign missions. Basically use them to spy on people, which is always a nice thing. And that can help us out quite a bit. Apologies if you could hear that, that was the cat. Coming once again to grace us with a presence. Yeah, we'll think about doing that. We kind of need the workers here for just now. Let's actually give our militiamen some shields. We can't do that with a warhammer. Shame. Always forget the warhammer is a blunt, or two-handed weapon rather. So we can't use the shields with that, but we could potentially make up some daggers and such we can use, or even effectively we could just use it with some of our other troops. Now we have pretty good amount of clothing available for people. We're still providing everybody with 2 slots of clothes, which is nice. And I guess the reason why we're sort of running out of wood so much is because we're giving so much of it away. But that's fine. You know, it's keeping people happy. That's the main thing. And we do need that happiness, especially from our smaller populations in order to keep them happy. Gods have forsaken Foremenlore, and the rains have stopped, the crops have stopped. Oh, drought. No, Osiris, what have you done? Yeah, we can see here the fertility of these lands has gone down massively just from lack of water. Even with our irrigation systems, yeah, there's very little water in the actual ground as a whole. But with the irrigation, should hopefully stop the worst of it. I mean, if we look kind of over here, this is 83, these guys are 60, and at least when they're closer to the water sources, it's doing a little bit better than before. These bits here look basically arid, or even maybe slightly deserted at the moment. So hopefully we can get these... oh, I haven't lined that up properly. Let's actually line that up properly, thank you. And we will delete these ones here. There we go. So yeah, we'll line that up properly. We'll upgrade these guys with some metal as well. And that should help out just a little bit. Thank goodness we got all that coal as well, so it means that we can keep everything running pretty spick and span. And our amount of bread is going up quite considerably. We should see a lot more immigrants coming in now that we've got more than 6 days of food. Obviously, the higher that is, the more they will be happy, but... you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. Let us see with our laboratory. we want to build these out of stone just for the moment. I think we'll just get we'll just get another laboratory here. We don't quite have the workers for it yet, but probably just a good idea just to get another one up, because we do want to get our research up nice and high. So we can either go for the combination of level 2 laboratories with the mechanization that we get from the machinery, or we want to go straight for a library, which we need paper for, but we are producing paper, so that's good. We could also think about getting a university as well to educate up more of our adults. I don't think we've got enough people for that, so we won't worry about that so much for just now. Okay, another laboratory being completed. Our carpenters are doing okay. We could actually upgrade our carpenters, but we do need so much iron for that. We're giving them tools. That should be good enough for just now. Speaking of tools, we still got lots of tools available as well, which is a fantastic place to be. Accident has occurred on a stone mine. Guys, what you doing? We do have a little bit of opium, so our hospital will be running, so we will have some services available there. Good stuff. Yeah, you can see here they're being treated by the doctor, which is fantastic. 100% load, which isn't great, but at least that's helping a little bit, and it's also helping us out a little bit with the amount of plague that we have from our maybe not so great sanitation, I guess you could be fair to say, but never mind. Main thing is we got our bread, we've got good enough food stocks available, 7 days worth of food, a whole bunch of rations that we can use as well. People loving the stage. That's good. We could probably do with more of them kind of around our other areas. In fact, why don't we do that just to improve the availability of these services? We can always put it next to another drought. Fantastic. Not great as far as things go, it must be said, but I'm sure we can work through it. Maybe we'll reduce the number of our guys in our smithy just ever so slightly. We don't need this many tools. We're overproducing them. We need more metal bars out of our population, just so we can get these guys done as well. Yeah, it's going to be a very poor harvest for us this year, I think, although hopefully it'll go by the time summer comes around, but I doubt it. So we might be a little bit more reliant on our grain reserves. Fortunately, we have a very high grain reserves, so cannot complain about that. And the number of animals that we have in our pastures is slowly but surely going up, which will also improve the amount of eggs that we're getting from our Globdian, amount of meat that we're getting from our Indolence, and obviously our Onyx pastures will be getting us some more cotton, which is also very, very nice. How are we doing over here? Yep, still need to upgrade that. Still need those metal bars, please, people. And we get to work on that as soon as possible. Really just reducing the number of things. I mean, I guess that is a good case for mechanization, and that we can upgrade these guys further once they're level 2, because at the moment these guys over here, which are level 4, they require just 20 machinery in order to reduce their workforce down from 4 to 2, which does make them far more efficient in terms of your workforce having to be used. Ah, would you look at that, we've actually kind of pushed out a little bit of the water there. Fantastic. That's making a very big difference for these two fields, which were not looking very good when the drought happened in the first place. And we've even got our other laboratory up, so we should see our research points starting to absolutely skyrocket in. Needing a few more cut stone in order to get these grand walls done, but we can already see that Foremenlore is being transformed from a city of mud walls to a city of marble, which is always very nice to have. And actually, I think we'll probably stop this episode here. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments if you'd like to become one of our nobles, and we can get that sorted out for you. And also, if you'd like to see this episode when it comes out, or any other episodes released on the channel as soon as they're uploaded, rather than when they're set to come out, you can consider joining the Burger Band to help the channel, get access to early access to videos, and some additional benefits as well, depending on the tier. You can do that on YouTube, you can do it on Patreon, you can also do it on Coffee, should you wish to. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care.